Afghanistan has, in the recent past, come under terror attacks. In September this year, at least 6 people were killed and over a dozen wounded in an explosion in southern Kabul. Kabul police said a person wearing explosives on his body carried out the suicide attack. In April 2024, 1 person was killed and 3 others wounded by an explosion in Kabul. ISIS claimed responsibility on its Telegram channel, saying a minibus carrying Hazaras was blown up as it passed through a Taliban checkpoint. Multiple people were killed in March when an ISIS suicide bomber targeted a bank as people were gathering to collect their salaries. Authorities put the blast's total at 3. In January this year, a bomb blast ripped through a minibus in Afghanistan's capital, Kabul, killing at least 2 civilians and wounding 14 others. ISK has claimed credit for almost all attacks. Afghanistan's Taliban has fired off on a new misogynist and regressive diktat, this time banning girls from receiving medical education. This means no nurses and no midwives. This has major repercussions in the country.
Another bedrock of women power, a symbol of the important role they play in society, falls by the wayside. The Hayat Balkh Institute of Health Science in Kabul used to pride itself in being the last bastion for female vocational education. Its doors too are shut now. No university education, now no medical education either for women. This one came, curiously enough, via an unwritten order, more of a verbal threat passed down from the administration. Shut shop or else.
I was in the 8th semester of medical studies. We were banned from medical school, so we were hoping to get a midwifery degree and serve our country that way. Now that the schools are closed, all our hopes are gone.
The repercussions are huge. Afghan Health Ministry sources say 35,000 women studied at 10 public and more than 150 private paramedic institutes. Nursing, midwifery, dentistry, lab work was taught here. The death knell for the institutes means the futures of these girls thrown into the abyss too. And it extends way beyond them alone, to the face of all healthcare for women in Afghanistan.
The need for female doctors in Afghanistan is 100% greater than the rest of the world. In our remote villages, there are no female doctors. Our sisters and mothers are faced with many problems. They have miscarriages. It takes a long time to be transferred to hospitals or public hospitals. If we got our degrees, we would be able to reduce the mortality rate of mothers and babies.
The United Nations has stepped in too, pointing out that besides being a gross violation of human rights, the decree is also a grave setback for Afghanistan's development with dangerous long-term consequences. Afghanistan, that has one of the highest infant and mortality rates in the world, is listed as one of the most dangerous places on earth to give birth. The World Bank says 620 women die per 100,000 live births due to pregnancy-related causes, the highest globally. The World Health Organization says 24 women die every day during childbirth or pregnancy.
The measure is profoundly discriminatory, short-sighted, and it puts the lives of women and girls at risk. It will decimate the already inadequate supply of female midwives, nurses, and doctors in Afghanistan. Male medical staff are prohibited from treating women unless a male relative is present, and Afghanistan already has one of the highest rates of maternal mortality in the world. Women's presence in the healthcare sector is crucial.
The UN and other NGOs have urged the Taliban to repeal the directive. This one adds to the Taliban going back on a host of its promises which were made after the takeover of Afghanistan to respect rights of women. Instead, things have gone rapidly downhill. Girls barred from secondary education, women barred from higher education and jobs, and now this. Soon, they say the Taliban will take away their right to breathe as well.